Okay, I'm back with the next part, finishing up my $8 thrift store haul. This is another bag of goodies. Just some gold cording. A little bit of gathered lace. This is a green, similar to the white with the gold edging, with that really cool ruffle on both sides. A little bit of almost like buttercream yellow satin ribbon. Some pink. And a little bit of purple. And this is 6.5 yards eyelet lace, and then it says 6 yards lace, but I only see the eyelet in here. Oh, that's a pretty one. I don't know if you can see the detail of the embroidery or not. That's a good one. Okay. And then a bag of ribbon and such. I'm really curious about this bag. Okay. So this is ribbon. It's almost like a country or Dutch design on there. Now this one says 50 yards, number 2. And it's all wound in paper also. Let's see if I can figure out how this works. Just nice satiny ribbon, and that is definitely vintage. I don't know if there's still 50 yards on there, but there is a lot of it. And this looks like vintage seam binding. It's white. It's a dirty white. But if I'm doing something grungy or if I'm going to dye it, then I'll be able to work with that. Then we have a lace here. Oh, that's pretty. That's a doubler. Run some ribbon through that. Okay, this is kind of a purpley blue velveteen on one side and a pink kind of paper satin on the back. There's a good amount of that. Okay, and some blue rose grain ribbon. It's a pretty blue. Spool of ribbon. This is, I'm not quite sure if it's a navy blue or a purple. It's looking on the purple side. Running out of room on my desk. And some spool of peach ribbon. Some relatively thick twine, so that's good. Oh, Another wooden spool. Woohoo! And it's got some yellow satin ribbon wrapped around it. And some white grosgrain. Love the spool that it's on. 49 cents, so that's going to be pretty old. And another little bundle of eyelet. And that's just a ribbon wrapper. A little bit of peach satin. And a little bit of pink. And then just a couple other little things. It's 2 little metal tart pans. I love those. It's 25 cents for both of them. I think she probably charged me 10 cents for these little brass candle holders, and they're good and heavy. But I just felt that twists. So, interesting. Okay, not quite sure why it would screw onto the base, but that's okay. So that's it for the haul. So while there's still a little bit more time, I had made a couple of things I just wanted to share. I did end up doing the inside of this little hutch. Put a little pad in there for my stick pins. So I'm happy with how that came out. And of course the little perfume bottle has gotten lost on my desk, but if you look at my desk, it's no wonder. So it's time to clean that off again. And then I had found a spice rack at a yard sale a few months ago, and I turned it into my bead storage with the jars. And then there's a couple of drawers in it. So one has some spacers and bead caps in it. And the other has actual pin supplies in it. So I was real happy with how much this actually holds. So, yeah, I just gave it a coat of paint, and then it took me a while to get the beads organized, but it's done. Of course, I still have other beads, but I'll have to figure out what to do to them to better organize them. And then I had been on Laurie's channel. She's More Art from the Heart. She is so inspiring. If you haven't seen what she does, she really comes up with some cool things. So she had done these little Scrabble, I don't know what you call them, but using the Scrabble tiles and the racks. So I definitely got inspired by that, and I did some myself. I covered mine in vintage lace. Front, back, bottom. So they're covered in the vintage lace. Did some white paint on the letters and glued those down, and then put in some little embellishments and stuck in just some wire twirlies so that these can actually be used as photo holders. So that's that one. And on this was a pen. It was all gold and it was kind of so I covered it with stickles. Took a while for that to dry, but it eventually did. So here's another one. This one says Laugh. Again, it's covered in the lace. A couple little paper flowers with gold stickle centers. And this was a pen. Room for at least 2 photos. This one says Dream. And I used some of the little butterflies that Trisha from Little Shabby Chic had sent me, and made a little pearl spray. Stuck that on there, and room for 3 photos on this one. It says Dream. And then this one Again, covered in the vintage lace. And then I did a string of pearl across the top. Best friends, or best friend, in the room for photos. And just a little piece of vintage jewelry there. So thanks, Laurie, for that idea. I mean, I'm really happy with how these came out, and they were so much fun to do. And if I knew how to actually put a link in the description, then I would put a link there. So I'm just going to type out the name of her channel, and hopefully y'all will go and check her out because she really does some awesome stuff. And then just got a little bit of time left. So there were some things that I made for the Oyster Festival. And these use a process called sublimation. And this is where I get supplies from a vendor that have a special coating on them. And then I have the paper and the special ink and the heat press and everything to use them. But basically I can take any image and put it on these substrates. So, I mean, custom gifts, I sell them at, craft fairs and the oyster festivals and things. So these are actually coasters, and they're cork backed. So the items that were kind of French themed, I mean, a couple things sold with that theme, but I just had a feeling that that wasn't going to be the market for it. But there is a little shop down here locally that will put them in the shop. And a couple of round coasters. And then I really like this one. I think this would be great to put in a library. Vintage dictionary. And I did some bookmarks. And these are my designs, and these are fabric. And it's the same process that I used on the coasters. And I took some fibers and made little bead dangles on them. That's that. And a little bead dangle. So a couple of these designs I know you've seen me do on other things. So I like to have dangles on my bookmarks because it helps weight the page if I need to get up for a second without having to close the book. And then I don't know what got on this, but it's a little mouse pad. Same process. And then to do something entirely different, we got just a couple minutes left. I made some pin boards for jewelry. I don't know how well they're going to show up, but I have a bunch of frames, so I just did a little shabby painting on them and got the designs onto the fabric. And there's pins in there so that jewelry can hang, and it's cushioned so that you can actually stick pins and things in. I really like how this one came out. The oval frame with almost like a cameo silhouette. And one more. This one's a little bit larger. I have the pins stuck along the bottom on that one. But I was really happy with how these came out. So, thanks for stopping by today. Thanks for sharing my haul with me and letting me show you what I've been doing. Hope you all have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.